Hello there, thank you for joining me today on Personality Profile. Today is a special meal. I put a lot of spice in this recipe, especially for you, my favorite audience. And today we get to sit down with a man whose name has become very synonymous to transformative leadership. I mean, from being a trained doctor by training, public servants by calling, there seems to be some intersection between energy, education, and even medicine. The man who has taken policies to a higher level, which has impacted the very Ghanaian person's need in this country. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, you know him as Napo. Not just a former member of parliament, but as well a former minister for education and as well energy. Now, from the world, I'm excited today because today on Personality Profile, we sit down with this man whose name has become synonymous with transformative leadership. Not just transformative leadership. And so from being a medical doctor by training, from the corridors of parliament, being public service by calling, it's exciting to have Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh today on Personality Profile. It's a pleasure to have you in my seat.
Thank you.
So I've just counted your staircase. There are about 18 of them.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's 19.
It's 19?
Let's go.
Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, the last one makes it 19.
19?
Tell me, what's the meaning of Napo?
Napo?
Yes.
Napo just means Napo. One of my cousins were very, very young. I think they were 5. He was 6 and he couldn't say Napo, so I ended up saying Napo. And Napo became my name.
Interesting. So it's just an abbreviation of
Nanapoku.
Nanapoku.
Yes.
I almost thought it was some secret name and all of that. We've always wondered Napo, and that seems to sit better with all of us. Do you like it when we call you Napo?
Oh, I've loved it from the fancy. When you go to my house and you say Dr. Prempeh, I might not be remembered straight.
Ah.
Because everybody, it's not the name that I brought from home from school or from friends outside. The names that started. So all my uncles, my grand-uncles, if you go and say, Dr. Prempeh said so, they have to pause and think, because there are other Dr. Prempehs in the family as well.
All right.
So they might have to pause and think, who are you talking about? I already say Napo, there's no mistake.
I certainly agree. Thank you for gracing my chair today.
I've always been looking for it.
Look at that. Thank you. It's a little over 6 months since the 2024 elections. What have you been up to? How have you been?
I've been doing a lot of stuff, actually, meaning political life, partisan life, government life has been interrupted, but I have different loves that I can now promote and do. Mentoring, a period of reflections, more engagement with the community and citizens, learning again, new things. Almost always there are new things to learn. Actually, I want to go on a course to do AI for about 28 days or something. AI? Yeah.
I mean, of course, I understand that AI has become the order of the day, but why? Why do you need that?
If you say AI has become order of the day, probably it is not an understatement. AI is about ruling our lives, or it will be the single greatest tool of invention man has made to help man in the activities of daily living and everything.
Every time I think about you, I say, well, nearly 7 months. We're in July, so I can say that 7 months since elections and all of that. You sit down, you must be reflecting, and you just said it, that's a lot of reflection and all of that. 16 years in Parliament. I mean, I was telling the audience earlier that from medical doctor, education, energy, there's definitely that intersection where all of the things that you have done seems to touch the very Ghanaian aspect of us. It touches the very needs of Ghanaians. How do you feel in reflecting all of this do you add the 16 years? Where do you start from? Do you start from your medical doctor days, or you start from when you were in politics?
I would say that is how I was brought up. I was brought up in a very politically aware family with a history of decades of partisan politics or active political life. That's how I was brought up. And I was brought up to cherish one thing: public service. And not only public service, bringing value through public service and for public service. Meaning you just don't participate. You participate in the intention of making an impact. That is how I was brought up. Brought up to prove myself that I can sit at the table with decision makers. And not only the elderly, but true decision makers. So brought up by granduncles and uncles far older than myself, whose children were even far older than me. And I served all of them. So that's how I was brought up. So growing up, having public service has been a duty that has been imprinted in my heart, mind, and everything I do. So even deciding to belong to which associations growing up were only associations that brought public service to the fore, like joining Boy Scouts at a very early age, be an altar boy at an early age.
What boy?
Altar boy.
Altar boy?
Altar boy.
As in, what's locally we say Maseva?
Yes, I'm still
like
a
you're holding
Maseva.
the thing, pump.
I'm
Really?
still a Maseva. Not only that, joining the Red Cross Society, going to do medicine, and the public service. The only difference is that some public service duties are very, very small, personal, but really impactful. And some are large and maybe impactful. So being a doctor, you are serving one person at a time, and it can be very, very impactful for somebody who needs surgery, who is dying in agony. And you go in and you repair a strangulated hernia or a rotten appendix or something, and you relieve his frustration, and he sleeps while he's practicing the PE. It brings a lot of joy to your heart and everything, but it's limited. And you put it around being a politician with making decisions that are life-changing for swathes of the society, and probably forever. So it's just public service ethos that I was grew up with.
Would you say that the 16 years since you went to this type of public service, and for the purpose of our conversation, allow me to describe it as politics. Okay. 16 years, so you look back and
you see, you have to use politics carefully. Okay. The word. Politics is how we organize our way of life. If you believe so, then it means what you are really thinking about, partisan politics, see me as MPP or NDC, but politics is very, very broad.
Right.
When you see a lot of CSOs and NGOs, and in Ghana, some refer to them as neutrals. They are all politicians. They are advocating a certain policy direction. They are canvassing for certain political beliefs and ideas. So that is politics. The only thing probably I've done differently is in the last 16 years, I put on the cloth of MPP, but that is maybe more than 16 years.
Okay. But in Parliament, from the hospitals to Parliament, 16 years, would you say that has been worth the switch?
I've married the two for a very long time, in the sense that in 1991, when the PNDC government decided on a consultative assembly for Ghana in our way forward, I was a student politician. I remember at that time we were having a central NUC Central Committee meeting in Cape Coast where the announcement was done. And together with my friends and colleagues in Central Committee, we decided in the early hours of the morning to march from University of Cape Coast to the residency to establish our protest against the government's decision. Then fast forward a few months after, I became the leader of the students wing of the New Patriotic Party at that time, probably the only one around the country, from KNUST. At that time, it was my beloved USD. So I became a student leader and a political leader, a partisan political leader for MPP, KNUST. And then we organized to support Professor Albert Dubois' campaign around the country. And the rest is history. I hadn't finished medical school at that time. I graduated from medical school in 1994. And the students' politics started in 1991, 1992.
And while I was crawling.
You're crawling? Oh, God. And now you're a big woman. So I went into medical school, and I became the medical students general secretary of the Medical Students Association. I became the local NUCS president for 2 years running.
Okay.
I became the national president of Ashanti Students Union as well. So it is all in preparation for public service.
Okay.
Getting better at delivering impactful public service. That's how I see my training as. And even doing medicine was preparing me for public service.
Interesting. But let's take it back to where you were born. Everybody, when we think about you, especially because of your surname, we're quick to go to the Ashanti region. But let me in a bit. Where were you born? Who's your father? Who's your mother?
I was born in Kumasi.
Okay.
I was born in Ashanti, Utah, in 1968. My father was a chief at that time. He was the last born of Prempeh II, the 247 Sergeant Prempeh II. And I was born. He became a chief at the age of 17, and I was born just before he was 18. And I lived that same place in Ashanti Town for my nursery school. I was privileged to attend the nursery school, university nursery school. Then I did university primary school for 6 years, nursery school for 2 years, primary school for 6 years. Then I went to, I don't see it as arguable, I went to the best college probably I've come across for boys aged 11 to 18 in the world. Was Prempeh College.
Oh.
For 7 years. And then I went to University of Science and Technology to read medicine for another 5 years.
By this time, did you know that you were going to read medicine? At what age did you know that you would read medicine?
In Prempeh College, when I went to sixth form, I was admitted for the 2 streams, both sciences and arts, because probably I was one of the few students who had grade 1 in chemistry for O-level. And I was probably the star in the geography class as well.
Really?
So I got admitted to Prempeh College, interestingly, to read arts, geography and others. And I got admitted to read science because when we did O-level art maths, which is my most horrible subject, additional modern mathematics, and 85 happened to have a very difficult additional modern mathematics paper. Some of us failed additional modern mathematics. And even when we failed, we were very, very happy because we were not going to do it again. But there...
Oh, that era, you didn't have to take your exam
again
if you failed.
Depending on what you're going to do, sixth form. If I was going to do arts, I don't need to do it.
Okay.
But if I was going to do science, there's a tendency that go and write additional mathematics. And it became an issue in Prempeh College at the time because some of my teachers were adamant that I should go and do my additional mathematics again. I used to say that I got 9, but if you allow me to go and do it again, I'll get 10 or 11 because I didn't like it. And I always believed, I told my lecturers, my teachers at that time, that it has no reflection on my A-level results.
How so?
Well, because I believed that I could pass the A-level very well to go to have an interview, get a grade that would put me through an interview without doing mathematics, additional modern mathematics. So, and I did. I think I did very well in Prempeh College, sixth form. I got the stars and things like that I needed to do. I did very well. I came out as the best student in A-level chemistry. Got very well in biology. Anyway, we ended up getting interviews in both University of Ghana Medical School and School of Medical Sciences, University of Science and Technology. And I got admission in both places. The Legon became another issue, but I ended up in KN University, or later, the university called KN University.
I mean, by this time when you went to Prempeh College, did you know that it was named after your grandfather? Or?
It has been named after my grandfather. My granduncles have gone there. My family was split into two.
Yeah. From
the foundation of Achimota, I had two family members in there, to foundation of Prempeh College, one of the first people who went there. So my family members are either going to Prempeh or Achimota.
Okay.
All the ladies will go to St. Monica's, or a few go to St. Louis.
Was there a special reason?
No. We aggregate to where we want to go to.
Okay.
We wanted to go to. The Prempeh College turned out to be one of the best schools very, very early.
I mean, I hear you say that a lot, especially when it's time for national
science. It's not me saying that. The records are there. When you go and ask medical school UGMs, when they established the medical school, nearly 100% of the students were going to come from Prempeh College. So they had to put a restriction on that. If you ask Professor Bedu Akusa and co, they will tell you, Prempeh is different.
What kind of child were you? Did you have siblings at all?
I lived I would say I live in what people who think they are part of the elite would say passenger houses. In my house, there were probably between 80 and 100 people every time where I grew up.
Why?
Because it was a chief's palace. So all the villages that were part of the chief's household had reps living with us. So we all lived together very, very fine.
Did you know that you had come from a very affluent family? Did you know this, and how did that shape you in any way?
My family, you never knew you came from an affluent family. You had to work out everything. You didn't know, but yes, I knew my father was the chief, but that is everything else I had to. And for me, my grandmother, I was looked after by my grandmother and my great-grandmother. And my grandmother is probably the historian of the family. She's still alive, 102 years, 103 years.
What does she eat?
Probably not the toxin-filled food me and you eat, right? But so she brought me up. And if I read, which I love reading, it's her. If I'm good academically, that's probably her. And my nightmare was the fact that my father went to the same school as I did. So class 1, first term results slip. Napo, this is your dad, compare. Subject by subject, same color terminal report, same subject here, same subject here, composition, verbal, aptitude, all those things. Look at your father, you look at yourself, you scratch your head.
Wait, he was doing better than you?
Most times. He did far better than I did.
Your grandmother, a little over 100, does she recognize you?
Oh yes, she calls me when she misses me to date.
She's active?
She's very, very active.
Interesting.
And she's still the historian of the family. It was considering that she left school probably as standard 1 at that time to go and marry the king. Her recollection of dates of birth, it's astonishing.
Interesting. Let's now journey on to when you became a medical doctor. In that field at all, did anything surprise you? Did anything shock you at all? I mean, despite it looked like you were raised to serve, as I'm learning from you now, did anything at all surprise you?
There were granduncles who were doctors. There were granduncles who were university lecturers and professors. So nothing you do seems to appease anybody or seems to shake anybody. I remember when there were about 6 or 5 of our family members when when we wrote O-level, those who did Achimota, those of us who did Prempeh College, St. Monica's and whatnot. And the results came and there was a lot of frenzy at home. Napo, I'll pass you, Napo, I'll pass you. And I was feeling good, right? 17-year-old, passed, going to Prempeh College 6th form without blinking. A lot of joy. And I heard my great-grandmother shout, did they win everything? They responded, Napo, I'll pass you. Why are they in I'll pass you? Then she calls me Opoku. Kofi Poku.
Kofi what?
Kofi Poku.
Okay.
So Opoku. Ashantis have this thing, they don't ever want to pronounce the full meaning of everything. And then Opoku brah, I go and sit in front of her. Results now for my passing. Oh, wait, if you have been a passing, sorry, really free, I just say, that's was it. That was the only commendation.
That's a high standard.
Go and find food for and eat and stop the noise. Then 6th form results came. And probably I had done well. Not probably, I had done well. And I came to the house and my dad and my aunt, my grand aunt sitting there. And I'm called. I said, you've done well, I'll take you first time. Age of 19 or 18, 19. My dad says, I'll take you out for dinner. Wow. I was like, I'll take you to a Chinese restaurant. So, wow, and I'll allow you to have a beer in my presence. Whoa. And so the conversation is going on then. All I hear is that, but if you have a degree, the A-levels, what are you going to do? That's the question. Results are back. I haven't even finished national service. I haven't even started national service. They're asking me what am I going to university to do. My father probably wanted me to read pharmacy.
Okay.
I wanted to read biochemistry. Other members of my family wanted me to go and read medicine. And it was a whole issue. Because I'd been impacted on by a student from Tech who was teaching, did his service or came to teach us chemistry and biology. Brilliant, probably had the highest grade point average before that time in KNUST.
Do you remember his name?
I don't remember his full name. He went on further to go and do by genetic engineering in Canada, I know for that. And he impacted me so much because he was like a brilliant teacher, a brilliant student. And in class, he once remarked that if he sees me and I don't give him an A in chemistry, he will never speak to me again. Because he really challenged us. And so I wanted to go read biochemistry and be better than him.
Okay.
But I looked at him as a God figure. No. And my uncle was a professor of chemistry as well.
Well, the standard in the family is so high that,
my uncle had his PhD in chemistry at the age of 25 from the UK.
Goodness.
So I wanted to go to that faculty and prove myself, really, be better than that guy. But then the big issue came up in the family. You're the firstborn, the bad luck of firstborns, right? Expectations are through the roof. And you must set a standard, you must do this, you must do that. And I couldn't be bothered. I wanted to go into biochemistry. Nobody could change my mind.
By this time, did you have siblings yourself?
Yes, I had junior siblings, but my next sibling, I'm 9 years older.
Oh.
So my grandmother then calls me. My grandmother is like my mother and everything, disciplinarian, historian, everything. Cup of tea, yeah. And I hated it, right? Because every cup of tea came with a tablet of, a capsule of 7-seed cod liver oil.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have taken cod liver oil and you burp, and kids, you go to school, you run, and when you burp, oh God, So I ended up having driverless strategy. I'll go and stand behind in front of the windows. I open my mouth, I'll throw it out and drink the tea.
Oh, wow.
So they call me, this is your cod liver oil, this is your loaf of bread with Marmite. I think all of them I still hate it, right? Now, also wearing, okay, I want to go do biochemistry. You're not serious. The firstborn of your dad, you have all these siblings following you. Instead of setting a high bar, you are setting such a low bar. We don't allow that in this family. You do medicine. Yes, grandma, I'll do medicine. That's it. The case line.
That's
Conversation closed. My dad couldn't convince me. My mom couldn't convince me. But my grandmother, he gave me a directive, so I had to follow.
And today, we're here celebrating the man who didn't defy that directive. It looks like this woman just knew. In all of this, you're not mentioning your mother.
Yes, she's still around. She's
Your mother?
Around. Yes, she's around.
Okay.
She's about 70. We are in 2025.
Yes.
November, I think 6th November, she would be 76.
If I was your mother, I'd be jealous of the relationship with you and your grandmother.
She herself was brought up by my great-grandmother.
Okay, and she understands
and lived with my grandmother as well, so she also going through it.
Let's talk about the day you decided. I hear you say that you started politics some way, somehow, or I'm sure because of this interview, I'm finding it difficult to find the right words, but permits me to use politics, and it's not the partisan one, okay?
The politics you are doing now, interviewing me.
Am I?
Yes, okay.
Stay calm, this is still personality profile, okay? The day you decided to run to be a member of parliament, do you recall it? I mean, was it influenced by all of the little politics you started in school, or somebody as well just saw in you and said that, listen, I think you can do more, or you just decided that I want to impact more lives and I want to do this by going into the corridors of parliament?
One way or the other, I knew I would always come into formal partisan politics. I knew that I would do mine from becoming a member of parliament. Somewhere, one of my granduncles had become president, President Kufuor. And I say, even today, probably closest in his thinking and his ways of working, political thinking, and a lot of things. So I'm very, very close to him, extremely close with President Kufuor. I used to live with him when I come to Accra. And the wife, Auntie Abba, loves me to bits. She loves me to bits because I'm always debating and discussing politics with the husband, and she's always around. And for a very long time, all her kids were abroad, and the house was empty, family-wise, and I was always with the President Kufuor. So that's how it is. But I decided when I became a member of the Royal College of Surgeons to come back home. It's a very interesting story. So I came back home. But my college tutor, the college tutor of Royal College of Surgeons, England, orthopedics, I was working with orthopedic surgeon at that time. Somehow, one way or the other, I thought that I was going and I was never coming back. So just when I came to Ghana, he brought her daughter to come and do a hockey clinic here. Hockey for 2 weeks. What
does that mean?
Hockey clinic. There's a place, hockey,
okay, just
field hockey.
Okay.
They were doing some things here. And came 2 years. And he followed her daughter. Okay, and said, oh. So we had the opportunity of meeting President Kufuor. This is my college tutor, and he's in town. And the guy meets President Kufuor and says, no, I came to Ghana because I want to take him back. He's my best junior doctor ever. And it would be a great loss if he says he's not coming back. And I had not discussed anything with him. It would be a great loss if he decides not to come back. 23 years of my practice, no junior doctor has been in my outpatients. I've left my outpatients to this guy to run alone. So I'm going back with him. But the crew looked at the man and said, Mr. Spearman, look at this guy sitting, look at his eyes. Is he cut to be a surgeon or is cut to be a politician? I'm not sure he's going back anywhere. That was around 2003, 2002, 2003. And so the man was like disappointed.
But this time you, not to catch you, but by this time you, did you...
I'd made up my mind where I was going to stand in 2004 elections.
Right.
As a member of parliament, because at that time they had divided the Bantama constituency into 3. And out of that Bantama, there was the original Bantama, there was Inshaesu, and there was Kwadasu. So it was a free thing. Dr. Anani had decided he's going to stay with Inshaesu. So we went in for Bantama. The story is for another day. But I had to give up for somebody who probably, I don't regret, but I gave up for somebody else to run. And she acquitted herself very well in politics. But 4 years thereafter, one of my granduncles also decided not to run. That was in Menchia, at that time in Menchia. No, my father's house, where I was born in Menchia. But my mother's house, where my mother has lived from infancy, is also in Bantama.
Oh.
My grandmother's house, my mother's, we still have a house in Bantama. So I moved to Menchia to contest. And even though there was a lot of issues with family go, family come, I then made sure that I came out with a slogan, Doctor Go, Doctor Come. Because before my granduncle, there was Dr. Kwame Adekofo.
Okay.
That Dr. Kwame was my granduncle. Before him was Dr. Kwame Safuedu.
All right.
Before him was Dr. Kuranchi. So I phrased, I think, Dr. Go, Dr. Come. And Dr. Go, Dr. Come won the primaries in 2008.
Okay.
And we won Menchia civilly. Subsequent elections, general elections, December 2008. And then my official political journey started 7th January 2009.
Looking back, do you have regrets? Is there anything you would change?
Probably not. Politically. Since 2009, in Parliament, no, not at all. Not at all. I look back and I wish that we had a prime ministerial form of government.
Why?
Because I've come to the fact that it will lessen the cost of politics for the Ghanaian. Because finances should not be a barrier for people entering politics. A presidential form of politics, finances is a barrier for people coming into it. But prime ministerial type of politics is not a barrier, because the cost of running in the constituency is far. It's about 30 or 40 times far less than the cost of running the presidency. So when you have an executive presidency where the Constitution says all executive power resides in the president, all the mineral wealth is given to the president, and he alone is the executive. Yeah, people might not like it, but it tells you that we don't have 3 arms of government. The president has huge powers and a huge responsibility as well. The prime ministerial form of government brings in more collaborative sort of government, because you sit with your opposition in the chamber, you have a fellow feeling of how things should be done. There's a more understanding because there's more backroom work done. People get to respect themselves across the political divide. There's more understanding and tolerance than an executive presidency. So when I only use President Mahama so that nobody misconstrues me. When President Rawlings was, it's what he says that is the rule. When President Kufuor was, it's what he says, this is what the president wants to happen. Because of the constitution we fashioned for ourselves.
I mean, so that's why we have 3 arms of government, as we may see it. You're unable to see the constitutionalism of it, the arms and how
I'm just saying that how we have operated it, now we are seeing the problems.
Yeah.
as we speak in this country, 3 arms of government is under assault. That's not where I want to go, but really, if you have 3 independent arms of government, some of the things we are seeing now should not happen.
I mean, in Ghana now, a lot of people cannot get over you when you were minister in charge of education. I'm certain if anybody just puts your name on Google or any search engine and your name comes up, it's very synonymous to transformative leadership, and you see it tilting towards education. You were minister in charge of education, you were minister in charge of energy as well. These two, which one did you enjoy most? And which one would you say that got you really to touch the very Ghanaian life?
The difficult one, but I think I'll choose education. Because, and I'll be truthful here, because I had enormous support to do what I wanted to do in education and to do what the party wanted to do. So for that simple reason, the support from the presidents and other ministers doing education was phenomenal. And so we could achieve a lot of stuff. You know, Emefa, I've never spoken about the things that we did in education ever. Because whilst I was the Minister of Energy, it was still my government that was in power.
Okay.
And we have to understand that whatever anyone achieved in that government cannot be said to be the person's achievement if the president who's superintendent is in office. Because every backstop with the president. But now, very soon, we'll start talking about the things that we did. There's not a single thing in education that is happening now that we didn't start. If you're in government, you govern through policy and legislation. So I'll track every single from technical vocational education, which I would put it now more professional education, or skills training, through free secondary school, through early childhood education, through a new curriculum for schools, through a new curriculum for teachers, through moving teacher education from diploma to degree, through moving a conversion from diploma to degree, from 3 years to 3 semesters for educational workers, a host of other things. I sit back and I say, wow, it's breathtaking. It's breathtaking, building new schools. Some of the schools even that we built for science and STEM and technical and vocational, people even wanted to convert it to universities. It tells you the breadth of reform that we changed and the lasting impact. You realize that no matter how the government spoke about it when they were in opposition, they came into government and they are continuing, even though they are chopping it. I see these days they find a way of chopping, school uniform and school cloth, but then you hear back that it's not even true. But really, the changes that were started is living. It's being sustained, because we can't go back to the situation that we found ourselves, that we had blinkers on and nobody wanted to own, was that quality education failed in the country. And it hadn't failed under a particular government. I always go back to it. When we were doing the Millennium Development Goals in Ghana, we started in the 90s or late 90s, early 2000s. Ghana was probably the only country in sub-Saharan Africa that had 6 end goals. Ghana passed 5. Only country that passed 5. But we missed out on one. What did we miss out on? As early as 2003, 2004, we missed on quality education. We missed on quality education. Fast forward, after all the necessary interventions were done, we had the gender parity in basic schools under President Kufuor by 2006, 2000. Why? Because he had introduced free meals in basic schools. He had introduced capitation grant in schools. If a child is in the city and there's a bus, it goes free. He had started some bit of school dresses for the poor. And it had dramatically changed the parity ratios, right? But come forward, as far back as 2005 when we achieved that, in 2017, the gender disparity in secondary schools against the female was mind-boggling that nobody was looking at it. 100,000 students were leaving BEC, qualifying to go and do secondary school, but could not go because of money, and most of them were females. Every year, if you recall, every year, for those of you who are as beautiful as those who went on pageants, Ghana Most Beautiful or Miss Bailaka, there was not an episode without talking about teenage pregnancy.
Sure.
There was not a year that for months the headline of Daily Graphic would not be talking about teenage pregnancy.
Sure.
In the last 6-7 years, have you heard it?
I can nearly confirm to that, especially even because the Millennium Development Goals, the one that focused on maternal mortality, under it, we noticed that teenage pregnancy actually also contributed to that. What contributed to the teenage pregnancy? Young girls were not in school.
Well, that's cool, simple.
Right.
And as education minister, I recall one big conversation I had with one of my professors of obstetrics and gynecology. May he still rest in peace. Professor Mate, one of the foremost gynecologists in this country. And I had this argument with him. He said he didn't believe in family planning. You know, Ghana was one of the first countries in the world that developed family, actually in Africa. Or third was that developed. Professor Sai of blessed memory in 1969, I think, brought family planning into Ghana. So you wonder how a professor of gynecology and obstetrics says he doesn't believe in family planning. And this argument went on. And he said, Prempeh, you don't understand. Put the girl child through secondary education and tertiary education. There's no need for... And I still didn't get it. But when I sat in the education seat and the statistics unfolded in my face, the first thing that hit me was that conversation. Why? What are the teenage years? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, right?
Yeah.
It coincides with the time you finish secondary school, true or false?
True.
True. So put a girl child through education. And how many get pregnant whilst they are in school?
We're busy.
Negligible. Negligible.
Yeah.
And when they all pass and they go into the teacher trainings or nursing training or the university, now the guys would say, why am I saying this? But the girls are doing far much better.
Oh, thank you.
Girls are doing far much better. and you don't hear it again. You don't hear people, even those who are well off, looking for housemaids and house helps. They don't get people again. Because everybody is in school. Whose child should stay at home to come and polish your shoes for you? Or come and cook for you? So you only get somebody to stay at home now if you are also furthering that person's education.
True.
But I believe that the impact, and why I choose education ministry, the impact that was made is a generational change and transformation.
It's a good time to want to decide that you want to stay with me. You're watching Personality Profile. And when we come back, we want to understand Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, you should popularly know as Napo, what the Ghana he envisages is like. I want to get into his head. What kind of Ghana is he looking at, is he envisaging? When all is said and done, what kind of legacy does he want us to remember him for? Has he been intentional with it? Is it just in his face already? Oh wow, this is the legacy that I am building. Well, I know. You're welcome. Stay with me. We'll be back right now when we come back, the small gist. Plus, I've been attempting to learn chess and I want to get this, maybe because he's from a royal family or he's a royal. Maybe that's why he likes chess, because the king must always, every day, be protected. Stay with me in this Personality Profile. Welcome back to Personality Profile. If you missed the first segment, I'm really sorry for you, but there's more to still unpack. We've been sitting down with Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. You know him as Napo, former energy minister, former minister for education, of course, the 2024 vice presidential candidate as well for the NPP. And thank you for staying with us, and thank you for your patience. So this is your chair, but I said it's my chair. For now in the show, it's my chair.
No comment.
Good. Well, let's talk about I like to think everybody has got a certain Ghana that they dream of, that they envisage. When you started active public life, and now, let's talk about the Ghana that you envisaged when you went into. Is it the same? And what kind of Ghana are you envisaging afterwards?
For all that I've done, all that I've said, all that I know, nothing brought so much joy to me was reading the long title of the Pre-Tertiary Education Act, subsequently the amended the new Public Education Act. Why? It talked about a Ghana where each and everybody's mind and heart and hands will be developed to the level that the person will contribute to becoming a functional adult and contributing to the prosperity of Ghana. I don't know, whoever, I think that Act 778 was done under Kufuor, but I don't know, they haven't found out the previous acts if they had that long title. So when we were doing the new Educational Act, I had to maintain almost everything. Because it talked about, really demonstrating the fundamental point about education and skills training, which we call technical vocational education and training, or in modern countries called professional education. The marriage of that two in allowing the individual's talent to come to fore, and using that talent to perform in a democracy in the way that the person would contribute to the prosperity of the country and the individual. It's interesting. And that is what I have benefited, and I hope everybody does. I have lived how education transforms people's lives. As a child, I saw how education transformed my life. And just as with my grandmother, he made me believe that everything is about being education. And in my house, if you are not very, very talented education, grammar education-wise, you will be talented hands-wise. Because there were professional jobs all around me, from hairdressing to dressmaking to shoemaking or native sandals making or kente weaving or lapidary, working with gold and silver. And I saw it every day. So you would have a lot to put your hands to, that whatever talent God gave you will be put to use.
Right.
So even though I started with grammar education, I went to the university, I ended up doing what I'll call more refined skills, hands, as a surgeon. Surgery is not different from other hand skills, except that you apply probably higher forms of knowledge. So that, to me, is everything we want to do in this country. We want a country that is prosperous, that each and every individual will reach what God had given his potential, either through academics or through professional education. Everybody would be somebody. You become functional in society, not drop out from school, or just because somebody has utilized his God-given functions. Somebody has made a lady pregnant, so the person should drop out of school. And meanwhile, the guy is nothing is done to the guy, right? We don't believe in that. I was not brought up believing in that. If you even get pregnant in school, you deliver and go and continue.
If you look at the corners of this country in its totality, this dream of yours, does the architecture of this country allow it to be materialized?
We by and large on the right track. Like somebody said, probably what has happened is that we have become more talkers than doers. But generally, Ghana's longest expansion in economic fortunes have happened since 1992. Forget about what the politics will tell you. Economically, we've grown consistently from 1992 till date. The largest expansion happened from 1992 to date. So, yes, we might be going through some political schisms that we all don't like, but economically, when I went to tech, right, there were only probably 2 or 3 students who had a car. The whole campus UST. And how many of us were there? We were in only about 6 halls of residence. And our numbers were moving up to 3,000. Just check the number of people now on campus UST. It tells me we are expanding the frontiers of both knowledge and functionality. Compared to 100,000 kids who were dropping out at the age of 12 or 15, now almost everybody is in secondary school.
Yeah.
Almost everybody is in secondary school. And the number of people who are going into tertiary institutions are bewildering. We have also recognized that if somebody doesn't go to school, formal education, and has a talent, that person can grow that talent to the level the person wants. We have a curriculum now, we have a structure, a foundational structure, educational structure, that bridges skill training and grammar education. So you can move, you can start as an illiterate dressmaker and end up with a master's in dressmaking. That is recognized.
Okay.
We've built the blocks, the ladders, and everything. We've transformed technical and vocational as to dropouts to becoming probably mainstream now. And the people who are doing technical and vocational, we are seeing the value. Emefa, look around the country. What you see is construction everywhere. Look at the talents that we need in the construction industry. We don't even have enough in Ghana, true or false. We have to go and import them from Togo, Philippines, Portugal, and a host of other areas. I've spent about 5 weeks in the last 2 months in Italy. And it's interesting. Small shops from grandfather to father to daughter. And that's where we all go for fashion. And the fashion industry is a creative industry. And it's small shops, family head shops. And look at where Italy is. So I think we're on the right path. I think that no matter the noise we make when we're looking for political positions, the reality dawns on us very well that the average Ghanaian wants to prosper. The average Ghanaian is thinking about his welfare and well-being. The average Ghanaian is thinking about how I can put food and quality food on the table.
It'll be a good time to ask you what next for you.
I still have a lot of time to still impact. It was Mother Teresa being used as a case study somewhere I went to learn that said, brighten the corner where you are. It's really true. You don't need to be in authority to demonstrate leadership. So even the crew you came in, if you sit back, you'll notice that 1 or 2 are very, very good. They demonstrate leadership. And they are probably not even the leaders of the team that came. So we have to train more leaders. We have to inspire many more people to demonstrate leadership. And I believe leadership as to the person who can engage the people to solve their problems. Right? Maybe servant leadership, but slightly more than servant leadership. Because it is not easy being a leader. And it doesn't come natural.
It doesn't?
It doesn't come naturally. You have to work it out. Because it is not backing dictates, directives that makes you a leader. It's the people understanding you, you understanding the people, you knowing your common problems, and you fashioning out with them how you solve the common problems. It's not going and giving people playgrounds or going and putting schools in places that people will never use or putting churches in squares that they don't even remember or even putting money in people's pockets without necessarily teaching them how to make money. So leadership has changed.
I mean, because we're so used to you doing very specific things at a particular time, I am thinking, when Mother Teresa said, in the corner that you are, when we're looking for you, which corner are we going to be finding you?
So Mother Teresa was probably not who said brighten the corner, but she actually brightened where she was from a pauper.
Yeah.
So she was the best example of that statement.
Yeah.
But for me, I tell you, start sitting in education ministry, right? The country rises or falls there. And then when I moved to energy, the country develops or fails to develop from there. Because modern economic development cannot be without energy.
Sure.
There's no country that can develop without energy.
Okay.
Right? And then you need the knowledge to know the forms of energy that we have to use this time, when about 900 million citizens in Africa don't use a good cooking fuel. About 600 million are without electricity. So you see, fundamentally, my transition from education to energy made sense.
Yeah.
Because when we are talking about skills training in education, I went into the energy field and realized that even though we've had crude oil we're exporting, Ghanaians were not benefiting. Because when it was time to train Ghanaians, we trained thousands of Ghanaians in what they call it, petroleum courses. But they were all management courses. Whose petroleum should I going to manage? Who are the skills that we still bring people from outside the country to come and do some skills direct there. And they pay fantastically well. So we had missed it. So we had to go in there and try and change it. And we gradually got into the space in skills training in the energy sector. So it's very, very important.
Beyond social media, what are some of the things that you hear about you, or let's just call them critics, that shocks you to the core? And which one lives with you so much that you say, really? Did they just say this about me?
Okay. If you live an examined life, something that people say about you, you may see it as true or untrue. And you might decide to react or not to react. Because it's only in this country that people can make profound statements about people. And when you ask them, have you met the person, or have you seen the person, have you had a chat with the person, so somebody says it. It's only in Ghana. It's only in Ghana that if somebody asks you, do you know Napo? Oh, I hear he's arrogant. What does that mean? What does the word arrogant mean? And nobody is able to tell you. It's just that I have to repeat it. So, but I can understand how people feel that, because I operate in very close circles. So not many people have got to know me. And so if you are that far off, it's easy when you are told to shout Napo is arrogant. In every statement you make, you would shout Napo is arrogant. But if you know where I come from, you cannot be arrogant and come from there. So those are sometimes political things that opponents would go and sit in rooms and do public discussions. Say the only way you can bring this guy down is to say he's arrogant, and when he's not. You live by the axiom, what you don't want to be done to you, don't do it to a fellow human being. You might think that we are in the political space, so everything is game. If I destroy Napo, I'm very, very happy. But hey, Emefa, it's not like that. What goes round comes round. You might have destroyed Napo, use the power of your microphone sitting here. But definitely, you will be destroyed where the least you expected.
A little bird whispered to me that you love chess game. And then, it's not that I want to play the game, but I'm curious why it's one of your favorite games to play. Why? What about it?
When I speak of how blessed I am, I don't know of a card game that I didn't know how to play. Every card game, every board game, we played it growing up. So chess, Ludo, Begamon, just Monopoly, crossword puzzles that we grew up with, Legos that we grew up with. So we had a full youth. So, and in my house, like I said, you are not allowed to go out and play. You're not allowed to bring outsiders to your house. We have huge, big house with a lot of people. So we have to engage ourselves in all manner of games, table tennis, which I play. So chess, I really played dummy better than chess. You know draft? You know draft? It's also squares, black and white squares.
Yes.
Just that it has a few number more tiles. This has about 16 and draft has about 20, right? Like, I don't want to miss their step like you missed a step. I think draft has 20, this has 60. This has multi-functionality.
Okay.
With the bishop going diagonal, the castle going straight lines and things like that. The knight going in L shape, 2 squares, 1 laterally. The queen going every, you know, the queen is the most powerful piece.
I couldn't wait to ask.
The queen is the most powerful. And interesting, even though the queen, you know, when you go to the animal kingdom, right? And you listen to History Channel, Geography Channel, and you see how the lion has a harem. And interestingly, the females protect the male.
Yes.
And I watched one with the monkeys. The male monkey was sitting there, and the females were fighting. Intruders who were coming to fight their man. It's interesting. That's the chess game. You have to protect your king. The whole thing about chess game is to protect your king. Okay. Once your king is down, you're out.
That's war. Can I look at this with the political eye? Is there politics in there?
Everywhere. Everywhere. The sufferers are the pawns. They are about 8 pawns, are they? They are about 8 pawns there. They suffer. They are your troops.
What about them?
He jumps and he hops.
Okay.
That's the only one that jumps and hops. Even the queen doesn't jump and hop. The queen is limited to the tiles in front of you. The knight jumps to the available space in this dealings, in this L-shaped dealings. That is what it is. But it's an interesting game.
Well, it will be suicidal to sit down and have a conversation with you and not talk about the NPP as a party, especially because it has said
something. Have we finished with any board games?
Because I'll go there. Because I'll go there.
I thought today is a personality profile, not political profile.
It is. I mean, why?
But
because
it's not a political profile.
Of course not. So because in 2024 you were the vice presidential candidate, I just want your view. Overall, 7 months after the elections, your reflections, and going forward to the 2026 presidential flag bearer race, what are your expectations? I mean, many have said that it has come too soon. Is this not going to threaten the unity of the frontliners at all? What's your general view of it?
I would start by saying how grateful, and sense of gratitude that I have. One, grateful to God for bringing me how far and is continuing with me. Everything I do, every step I make, not steps that I've done and I'm thinking about, hey, I should go and look for God. God first, right? So if you look at my political journey, it's nothing but pure goodness and mercy. 8 years as an opposition politician, made probably good names and headlines all over from day one. The next 8 years as an executive member, still a member of parliament, and the most far-reaching ministry than anything. If there's anything I look back, probably the only 4 years ever since the establishment of Ministry of Education in Ghana, where there are almost 100 associations in the unions in there, nobody went on strike. It's only God.
Yeah.
It's only God. And when people say all sorts of negative things about me, I said, how did I sit with unions all these years and they never go? Not one union member came out and said any disparaging remarks about Opoku Prempeh. Yet still somebody wants to believe that he's arrogant. Can you go and sit with the unions with arrogance and go scot-free?
Of course not.
Not. So people's perception might be clouded by where they are sitting. But 4 years there was no demonstration. No, never. It's never happened. That we went to, and yet still the transformation 52 pieces of policies and legislation. Never, at a point, Cabinet Secretariat, the holder of all government business, had to recognize me with a plaque. It's when you get into those dizzying heights, you get swelling-headed. But no, my feet is firmly planted on the ground because of God.
Okay.
So you always have to remember the other day. So in times of harvest, you store. Because whatever you do, the bad days will come. And that's when you have to rely on your resilience and your store, and you have to go back to God.
One word for all those who have started, showing their interest in the...
Put in the hard work.
Hard work.
Put in hard work. But more importantly, in this job game that we are called politics, what stands is character. What stands is integrity. What stands is honesty. Okay.
So this edition is my favorite part. It's called, so we have three things to do now. The first question is this or that, the Napo edition.
This or that.
Don't worry, you'd understand.
Hey.
Trust me.
For you.
Then we've got true or false, which you'd be answering with this. It will be here when we get there.
So when what you say is true,
you will show it.
You will show, and I say it's false.
No, you have it. You would have it. But we'll start with the this or that first, and then we'll get to the not guilty or guilty part. So you can put your.
But there's always a third answer.
Is it?
It's not everything that is false. That is true. It's not everything that is true that is false. And there are things that are not true, but are not false.
Unfortunately, it's not on my plan.
So you have to be careful. Because I know many more things that are not true, but are not false. Many things.
Let's try. You never know. See. Let's
try.
I
should ask you one.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet. Let's start. I'm excited about this one. So we're not at the true or false yet. So this is it. Let's start with the this or that. Tea or coffee?
Tea, of course.
Tea.
I've never drank coffee.
Really? You're missing a lot.
You haven't gotten a well-brewed cup of Dijalin tea. That's why you talk like that.
Ah.
Tea.
Okay.
Any day.
Any day.
Any day.
Okay.
It's just tea.
Paper notes or digital notes?
Paper note.
That's evident.
Paper note.
Fufu with light soup or banku with okra?
Banku with okra.
I know if you Ashanti region to.
There are more volunteers eating fufu than banku.
Are you a morning person? Me and I'm setting me questions. Why am I getting caught up in my own questions?
because probably a volunteer who loves fufu.
Now you got me right there. with a shiny bright light soup with goat.
No, there's nothing like nkrumah and snails and koto. You know koto?
I know koto.
The small one. Then you can put the whole one in your mouth. Yes.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
Definitely a morning person.
Okay. Long speeches or short?
Brevity is the soul of the wit.
Local TV news or Twitter trends?
None of the two.
Oh, TV.
None of the two. That's why I work with people. That is their job.
Right. Socks and sandals or barefoot at home?
It's a mixture. No socks at home, but no barefoot.
Okay. STEM or humanities?
Both.
You cry. Choose one.
Because you see, I was a minister that brought STEM.
Yes.
And technical and vocational skills in one.
Yes.
And when we said TVET, go and read the first speech of His Excellency Nana Akosua Adeti. It was TVET. And there was A in it.
Okay.
Because people forget that the creative arts is also not only a skills thing, it's also very, very scientific. It's always mind-boggling.
Okay, pretend that you are not a minister and you are not a member of parliament.
Me, like I told you, I went to Prempeh College. They took me 6 form in both arts and science. So how can I answer that?
Okay, let's get on with it. Classic high life or gospel music on Sunday morning?
Church on Sunday morning. No time for music.
You're taking an exam, so you can't rewrite your Okay. Necktie or no tie?
Don't fill everything black or white. If you need space, it will be good.
Okay, necktie or no tie?
I don't like neckties. I hardly put on neckties. Flying tie or bow tie. I'll say if it's neck and it doesn't matter flying or bow. In my profession, I've done a lot of flying ties. Now unless it's very, very necessary, I don't do it. But
okay. Chalewote or dress shoes? With my dear friend Chalewote.
I wore it a lot. And I sometimes put nails or needles through my chalewote to keep it working. And then when you pull the small knot there, you put a safety pin. So we go to the women who are giving birth. That time they put a napkin with safety pins.
Yes.
Go and steal a safety pin and use it in your chalewote so that I can walk with it.
No, which king's child are you? Writing your own speeches or trusting the team?
Both. I hardly write my speeches. Hardly.
Okay.
But we go through a lot of iterations with the team.
Taxi or trotro in your university days?
In my university days, both didn't come to campus. I was a local news president before we allowed taxis onto campus. We all dropped at Tech Junction. So, Charlie, there will be a car we can't trotro them, sir. We car taxi.
Okay.
So you go into taxi when it's a girl. Okay, they ain't cost.
Again, twaso. Engineer Hona. So, free SHS town hall or energy sector retreat?
I love both. I love both.
Oh my God, someone should have told me this would be difficult with this.
I love both.
Okay. Phone call or text messages?
Text messages.
Okay. Cognac or whiskey?
I've graduated from cognac to whiskey. So which one is better?
If you have graduated, it means that cognac was
doesn't necessarily mean that. It means I'm in a new course. I've started a new course.
Okay.
But now I do single malt.
Okay. What's special about it? It's smoother?
The older it is. Like everything else. You
Yeah.
see, people forget that alcohol, in general, it is not good for the health reasons, especially if you drink too much. But if you are buying alcohol, the older the years, the better it is. So it's not only wine. So if you look at the vodkas, there's black label, even vodkas, there's a blue label, there's white label, there's all that. When you do whiskeys, there are labels. There's all, the more you go further, platinum and things like that. So the older, so one day when you ever come to my house, we will share a tot of 30 years Macallan, and you'll see the difference in drinks.
Okay, that'll be nice. Thank you. Now, suits all week or native wears? I mean, on Fridays. Now, this defeats that question, so I'll take it out. Don't answer it. It's okay.
Suits or what?
Or native wear
on when?
Fridays. On Fridays.
Fridays?
Yes.
They don't mean Kai Friday, though. So it depends on what I'm doing.
Plan A or make it work on the fly?
I don't understand that question.
Okay, so you have, you know the regular saying, there's plan A, plan B. For you, it must work or you allow for other plans?
If you are a human being, you would have other plans, but plan A should work.
Okay.
Unless you didn't think through it well, plan A should work.
Okay. Power nap or PowerPoint?
PowerPoint.
Okay. Now finish the sentence. The one thing I never travel without is?
My allergy tablets.
Your allergy tablets. Oh. I'm tempted to ask what are you allergic to, but it's okay.
I'm allergic to everything. Even long conversations on TV.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll break this into two. Ghana tastes like?
What?
Ghana tastes like?
Like a good wine.
Okay. Public service taught me?
The value in service.
My leadership style is?
Servant leadership.
If I wasn't a public servant or a doctor, I'd probably be?
A teacher.
One value I live by is?
Your word is your bond.
On Sundays, I?
Have to go to church.
Legacy to me means?
An enduring fact after you.
My happy place is?
I don't want to share that one.
Is that your grandmother?
I don't want to share that one. My happy place.
Okay.
I don't want to share that one.
I feel most Ghanaian when?
In everything I do. In everything I do. I feel most Ghanaian when I'm on an international stage. And then I'm letting people know that it's not all gloom in Ghana. There have a lot of good things happening there. But I haven't told anybody this secret. Do you know that I wanted to be the Minister for Tourism? That was my elective choice.
Really?
If I was ever going to be permitted to be a minister, to be tourism.
What's one thing in tourism would you do?
Lots of it. Ghana is tourism, if you want to know. Ghana is equal to tourism.
Interesting. Time now to start with our true or false. So, Dog, Ohineba, Wadaruma. Fantastic.
Why is it both red? It should have been blue true. Another color false. You know the color I would put for false?
Which one?
Yes. If blue is true, what color would I put for false?
Nah, I won't fall for this. Okay. Let's start with that. Let's leave it to them. The audience guess. Okay. So please have that one. You can hold it by the neck and then. So true or false? You once nodded in a meeting and dozed off.
Plenty times.
True or false? You own more political t-shirts than dress shirts.
False.
Okay.
False, 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 false.
True or false? There is a WhatsApp group you've muted permanently.
True, true, plenty.
You have pretended to be on a call just to avoid a long conversation.
False.
You have corrected someone about free SHS in a supermarket, queue, church, or funeral. At least one of your speeches was written or edited in a car.
Plenty.
You have been tempted to respond to a headline story about you. That.
True.
Okay. You once gave a serious speech thinking about something else, entirely different from that speech that you're talking.
True, 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 plenty. We can't wait to go there.
You have been called Napo more times than your actual name.
True.
Okay.
Napo is actually my name.
Okay. You have worn a party shirt to sleep.
False.
You have listened to your own speech and thought, not bad.
False. Never listen to my own speech. Never.
Why?
Maybe I haven't had the time. People should have job to do. Somebody should collect their speeches and make money out of it.
You have sent a voice note instead of texting because. Okay. You have said, let me be honest, when actually you're not honest.
The answer is all here. But it's true.
Okay. You have used the phrase, I'm not a small boy, in a serious debate.
I don't remember. Okay. Maybe.
Okay.
But because I've always had a very irritating attitude about people who are talking small boy. Very, very irritating. Every time somebody says small boy, I cast my mind back to at that age. Did I see myself as a small boy? People who can't defend their positions use small boy, I can't, someone now can be. It's really below the belt.
Okay. You have practiced a serious look in the mirror before an event.
I hardly look in my mirror.
Oh my goodness.
I hardly look in my mirror. My hair is always cut low, so I don't need to be in the mirror. I just need some shea butter in my hair and I'm off.
Okay. Finally, you know someone who still calls you honorable, even in the market.
Plenty. And the way they say the honorable, the Ashton people can help me here. Honorable.
It's a real pleasure sitting with you. Finally, let's wrap with the chess.
Have you done the guilty?
So I put it together and we use the guilty and not guilty.
Honorable. You don't know the spelling, whether it's American honorable or English honorable.
How often do you play the chess?
Increasingly, you don't get people to play chess with because of social media, 15-second life. Everybody wants quick things, so they want to flip Instagram rather than come and sit and engage in a game of chess with you. So I don't play often now. What I do play often now is 4 in a row.
What's that?
You arrange colors in a row, 4 colors. It's red and gold. So you arrange to get it 4. I play with AI, and it's interesting.
I see your love for AI. I mean, you mentioned
it's not a love for AI. It's AI phenomenon is bigger than when we introduced electricity, or it's bigger than when laptops became common.
I could talk to you the whole day. Thank you so much for sitting with me today on Personality Profile. I like to think that there's going to be another time that I'll have to come and sit with you again.
It doesn't happen often, but I must say that I've enjoyed talking with you, and maybe we'll think about it and give you another opportunity. But I'm a very shy person, so I'm always hiding myself in my room, minding myself. Have you seen me out before? When? Where?
Campaign rallies.
Campaign rallies is something I can't say you won't do. But after the campaign rally, I'm home.
Right.
I'm a home person more than anything. And I've enjoyed talking with you. I've loved your interview. Brilliant, supportive stuff, which AI cannot replace.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And yes, you watching, thank you so much for staying with us. You're welcome. This is special, exclusive, all for you, and it's not true or false, and it's not guilty or not guilty.